Welcome to Out of the Noise podcast, a spiritual growth podcast. This podcast is about holding sacred space to help assist humanity to raise their consciousness through connection by having courageous conversations out of the noise of mainstream with heart-centered leaders, wisdom keepers, and divine humans expanding into their authenticity and soul purpose. We will explore spiritual concepts, practices, to deepen into your healing and the collective. Priestess Lilly is a medium, light activator, and heart-centered leader that is committed in raising the light frequency and consciousness here on Earth for us all. You can work with her and learn more by visiting www.priestesslily.com. Enjoy your spiritual learnings.
Welcome to Out of the Noise. Today we have the honor of speaking with the wise and grounded Hannah, known lovingly as the Earth Mother. Hannah's journey is one of deep soulful connection to her body, the earth, and the powerful path of healing. She's not one to shy away from her inner work required on this journey. In 2021, Hannah felt a call to leave the bustling city life of Auckland behind her and return to her roots, embracing her mountain, the water, and her connection to the Great Mother. She's here with us today to share the beauty of resilience and lessons that she has learned on her pathway and journey to healing. Today, I'm inviting the beautiful Hannah onto my podcast, Out of the Noise. Hannah has an amazing story to share. And not only that, I've met Hannah through the Divine Awakening group. She joined my group space, and the woman just love Hannah. She is a divine being, absolutely living all of her truth in every aspect of her life. Welcome, Hannah.
Thank you, Lily. That was so beautiful.
You know what, Hannah, you're a special soul. You're a special soul on this earth. And I think that in your journey has been remarkable to witness just in the last couple of years of knowing you. But obviously your strength as just a human being against diversity as a whole.
Yes.
So with that being said, tell us a little bit about yourself, Hannah. Because those that don't know you, I think your story as a whole, as you just as a being, just offers so much wisdom, guidance, love, awakening, cracking. It's multifaceted, your story, sister.
Well, I am Hannah, and I guess I'm a lot of things. I'm patriarchy of this beautiful land that has called me to be here. I am a goddess. That is how I like to write things on pieces of paper. When they say, what's your occupation? I put goddess. I'm a woman. I am a mother to 3 beautiful daughters. I'm a wife, a daughter, a sister. And I guess in the medical field, I have to throw in something a little bit like walking tetraplegic as well, because that is part of my physical being, living in this body, this spirit, and that's all I've ever really known in my adult life is what I live with in terms of my disability. Although that doesn't define me, that is something that's hugely part of who I am, and in essence has probably been the calling to be where I am today under this beautiful mountain.
Yeah, you know, it's fascinating. You've shared your journey within the Divine Awakening group. How you ended, your disability isn't really what defines you at all.
Yeah.
You
No,
just,
not at all.
and I think that that is just a strength in the character of who you are as a human being.
Yeah,
And a
I think
mother
so too.
and a
I think
goddess.
so too.
Absolutely. So I know that you've been on a massive spiritual journey over the last couple of years, probably 4 years, 4, 5, probably even before that,
Yep.
because of your, healing yourself. But let's just talk about the last 4 years, if you're comfortable with that.
Yes, absolutely.
You were living in Auckland, and obviously there was a massive pull for you to move and a driving force for you to exit your lifestyle, your place of being in Auckland. Why were you called to leave Auckland? And what was really the driving force behind that, sister? Because I know so many people listening to this now are probably thinking, I don't know if the city life is really serving me.
Absolutely. I think Spirit had called me for many, many years in Auckland, but I just wasn't listening to them. Oh, I was listening, like I heard it, but there were many times where I'd go onto the deck and be like, I hear you, but I'm not in a place right now to do anything about it. So the driving force really behind leaving Auckland, or the push, so to speak, was probably the fact that we were mandated from our jobs. If I'm really honest, we couldn't actually afford to live in Auckland unemployed and having a mortgage. And I guess, as shitty as that kind of is, it actually all worked out for the best, because it made us reevaluate what was important to us, what actually mattered. And when unfortunately my dad had his stroke in December 2021, ended up down here with him in the ICU. He wasn't expected to live. But Taranaki is where my whakapapa and my roots reside. So both my great-grandparents, my ancestors are from this part of New Zealand. And being down here in the hospital in such crappy circumstances, just sitting with my dad, looking out, seeing the mountain. Mount Taranaki has a way of calling its people home. And that's really what it felt like to me. He called me to come back here. Although I've never lived here permanently up until 2.5 years ago, it's where my roots are from. Like, my heart just ached to get out of the city for a long, long time. And I think COVID, the mandates, my dad's stroke, and then being here was really the driving force. Yeah, Taranaki called me home, and he found this beautiful piece of land, the Whenua. And the moment I walked onto this property with my beautiful friend, my husband actually had found it on Trade Me and said, go and look at this place. You've just got to. So we turned up here, and I called him in tears from the garden, just saying, this is the place. Like, this place has found us. And that was it, really. I just knew we'd actually been looking up north where my mum lives in Whangarei. In Northland. I'd looked at a few properties with the girls once we were able to break through the border in that December 2021 time. But there was just something, I'd looked at the properties because we wanted to get out of Auckland, but nothing gave me that feeling of this is the place, like this place did when I walked in here. So I just knew in my heart we just had to be here. And it was really quick after that. My husband and kids had never seen this property until the day they arrived with the truck.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's a lot of trust.
It's a lot of trust. And it's been absolutely divine ever since. And it just feels right. It just feels, every day just feels right when I wake up and I'm here and I think, wow, I can't believe we've been chosen to be kaitiaki of the land, the caretakers. Because whilst we own this property and we were very fortunate to be able to sell our house and live a lifestyle now of being mortgage free, I know that's very, I feel very blessed because I never thought I'd be mortgage free at 40. I don't really see it like that, because yeah, I feel like I'm honored and been gifted to be the kaitiaki, the caretaker. I don't own it. That's just on paper.
Yeah.
I'm,
I loved everything you shared because
oh,
I was also the same. Obviously, for me, that 2020 space to 2022 was really challenging. I even so Spirit had told me prior that I would be living in the Marlborough Sounds. And I remember it. You said in 2 years' time, you'll be living in the Marlborough Sounds. And I was like, whatever. Like it just wasn't on my radar. And then we bought a batch pre-COVID up here and I loved it here. But the practicalities of moving here was just not even on our radar until the world turned to shit.
mm-hmm.
Now I look at it, it was a very challenging time, as much as I know it was for you too, and many other people out there listening to this, but it was also a sacred calling to take ownership of where I wanted to be in the world, how I wanted to live in the world, I feel the same as you. The sacred blessing that I have that sits outside my door, the Marlborough Sounds, the land, the earth, being a stewardess of the land, very similar, exactly the same as you, just has cracked my heart open on the ways that I didn't even know I could be cracked.
Yes, I totally resonate and understand.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and I think, probably very similar to you, when you're living in those places like Auckland or Christchurch and you're just doing day-to-day life on the treadmill,
Mm-hmm.
you don't actually realize how much wired you are until you come to somewhere where you're called to that peace, to the unwinding of your nervous system.
Unwinding of the nervous system.
Yeah, was that how
Yes, when you say the unwinding of the nervous system, I think for so long I was in fight or flight in Auckland. And I noticed it physically. I was getting things like cold sores I'd never had in my life, just extreme fatigue. My body, we lived in a massive house in Auckland with like 50 stairs all up. So no matter which way you went into or out of the house, I was always walking upstairs. And that's quite challenging when you've got a spinal cord injury. So just exhausted all the time, busy, here, there, and everywhere in the car, just dropping the kids to school was a half an hour thing, even though it was 10 minutes around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
No time to sit and be still because you're hearing your neighbors arguing or the police helicopter circling your house because somebody's lost the plot. Police sirens, just so much busyness. And now I get to listen to cows moo and roosters cock-a-doodle-doo and birds sing, and it's glorious. I can even hear the Stony River, which is the main river that runs from the mountain to the coast here. And I remember when we first moved in, we were like, what's that noise? Because we just weren't used to the stillness, but it was the river flowing. And it's really given my nervous system a chance to breathe, stop, and have quiet. And I find myself these days just sitting in my little sunroom, staring out at my surroundings. Then like 2 hours has gone by and I'm like, wow, I've actually done nothing, but I've actually done so much because I'm not looking at the time. I wave to my kids and they get off on the bus in the morning. I'm still in my pajamas. That's like life changing. And I welcome them with happy open arms when they come home off the bus, instead of being frantic in traffic.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed. I'm more present.
Yes, absolutely. More present. And that's so important, but so hard to do when you're in a big city and there's things going on all the time.
Well, there's always, invitations, commitments, obligations, things that you have to do, roles you have to play where, I don't know, it doesn't feel that claustrophobic would be my word.
Yeah.
Go to your place, your spiritual place for healing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in that like stillness, that the more simple life, I am then allowing my body to, like you said, be present, but more things, you can hear more things, see more things, everything's more clear. And I can allow, that spiritual part of me to be fulfilled now, which has always been a part of me. It's always been a part of me since I was very little, but just always shutting it out because there was no time for that. Because my brain's at capacity and my body's at capacity, so I can't be acknowledging any of that. But now I can, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
So how has the change been for your family as a whole? How's it really impact? Because obviously you have small children to take them from the busyness into a place that's like, I don't want to say remotely off the grid, but obviously for their life, for children that are quite social,
Definitely. My city's
Thomas, he feels like there's no KFC here, Mum. There's no McDonald's,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been a massive lifestyle change for the family coming from a West Auckland city to a small country school where town is like 40 minutes away. So I won't lie and say it's been super easy. It's been super easy for me. It has been for the kids, but they've handled it amazingly. And I think we left when they were 9, 7, and 4. So we did it at a time where they're young enough to still, adapt really easily to different friendships and that change. I think if we'd done it now at 12, my daughter is 12, that would have been terrible because it's all about friendships. But they fit right in here. Just on the weekend, my husband and I were saying sometimes we feel like we're back he was born in the 70s, I was born in the 80s. We're like, wow, we feel like we're back in the 70s, 80s. So the kids bike down the road to their friend's place and we go, bye, just, be safe and, see you when you come back. You can't do that in the city.
Yeah.
They're doing things like how we were raised, how it was back in the old days, my kids say. And that is really amazing and heartwarming. They're out on the farm, with the neighbors. We're not farmers, but everybody around here is farmers. So they're getting back to basics. They're actually learning where the meat comes from. No, it doesn't just come from a supermarket, does it? We're able to have fresh, like unpasteurized milk. They know where milk comes from. So it's been beautiful in the learning aspects of how life flows. And they've made some beautiful connections. I think about living in a small community is that everyone does know everyone. And the school where my husband also now works is the hub of the village. So we're 10 minutes from the Okaro village. And it's so nice being amongst a small community who are all really doing things for the same sort of life, I guess. Although we're not farmers, everyone is here working on the land and honors the land and knows how life is. In the city, you don't see that because you just go into the supermarket and choose your milk and you just pick your veggies and stuff. It's like the real world.
Look, I was a country kid, born, St Andrews, Nugget, my husband, lived in Picton his, primary school years and going into his high school years. I very much, for me, always wanted to raise my children and if I in the country, in that small community, everyone knows everyone. It's safe to go for a bike ride. It's you can hang out down at the river, go for a swim, throw rocks, just very much have that innocence of the childhood I had. And I don't think that is so much on offer when you're in a city. I don't think that is on offer, where at least in a small community, the children, the parents, how, when Thomas used to get invited to birthday parties when we were in Rangiora, I didn't even know half the parents. That, that in itself for me didn't make me was challenging, and around trust and
Yes,
safety and
I
all the things
totally
that
get that. And I
yeah,
think we just feel really safe here.
mm,
It's a safe feeling, and it feels so good because it didn't feel safe in West Auckland, especially towards the end. I mean, we did live there for a decade, and I loved raising my family there, my kids. But, for the last 5 years, it was like, nah,
yeah,
I don't even want my kid walking out to the letterbox without me at least looking at her. So
yeah,
here, it's just such a wholesome, safe feeling.
yeah. And I get that. I mean, there were so many reasons to why we moved here, but for me, it was around there was so much ugliness and is still so much ugliness in the world of separation and division that I was like, I want to live somewhere where we don't get to see that. That
Mm-hmm.
we actually co-create the world we want to live in versus versus what's being forced on us or what we're being told to see. So that was probably one of the big driving
Absolutely.
forces for me. And I
Yeah,
don't see that
absolutely.
here. Hey, tell me about the land, sister. Tell me about
Oh, the land.
your connection to the land, because in the group you put up the most amazing pictures of the mountain and the water and everything being in flow and your bees, your honeybees.
Yes,
Tell me about
I'm
your
going to
passion.
get in the hive after we finish. Well, yeah, the land, the Whenua, it is really an incredible spot here, and I just love to go out barefoot and every day, rain, hail, or shine, it's barefoot, which is something that's super important to me, especially lacking full sensation in my feet. The land, wow, I could say so many things. It just is full of life. And the thing about living here on this land is you get to experience all seasons of Papatūānuku, Mother Nature. It's right there, like impacting you every minute of the day, how the flowers change, the leaves fall, the grass grows, it dies, the animals. It's like a full show that I just get to experience every day. And we, yeah, I would say gifted. Obviously, we own it, but I feel like Mother Nature gifted us this land so we could be here to grow our own vegetables, which is really important, have our fruit trees, have the animals, have the bees, and living here, we trade things. We're getting back to basics. So I'll trade you a pot of honey. I've got free range eggs. I think the land comes with a community vibe, and it's something that we put in the work. You have to put in the work when you when you're caretaker of the
Yeah.
land. The vegetables aren't just going to grow, so it does take a lot of love. But having the time to work on the land is something that I now have because I'm
Mhm.
here every day. And I do work from home in my role with the New Zealand Spinal Trust. But that's such a dream to be able to work from home very, very part-time and then just work on the land, just go out and feed the animals and pet the animals and get in the beehive. And I never would have had a beehive in Auckland. Who has a beehive in suburbia in the middle of West Auckland? You just can't
Mhm.
do that. And it's
Yeah.
so cool, you see so many different birds and flowers and things here. And, just before I jumped on to do this, two beautiful swans flew over. I've never seen swans here. They just flew right, in front of the mountain. It's like, wow, swans? This is so cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, so, the land is beautiful. It does take love. It does take time, but then that comes in tenfold back. Eat the things that we plant and grow, and it sort of goes both ways, We never take any more than what we should in terms of the honey. It's not about getting honey, really. It's just about loving the bees and having them in the garden. And the honey is a little added extra bonus. That's how I see things on the land. It's not really mine to take, but it's a relationship. So if I love the land, which I absolutely do, then it will show me the things that it produces, and it will just have abundance. I'll have so much I can just share it. I'll just give you some eggs, That's what I love.
Yeah. I was speaking to a Maori older a couple of months ago, and I don't know the Maori, there's a saying, but I can't speak it in Maori. You mightn't be able to, but it's what's most important. It's people, it's people, it's people. Now, she questioned this and she said, no, we've got it completely. What is most important is the whenua, the whenua, the whenua. If we don't have the land, the land can't support our people. And I was like, yeah, like I get that totally. Like the land, Mother Nature is a living being, and she will consistently provide us the resources if we, as the human being, treat her right. And we're not the most important thing. Like no. We have this, it's actually her. She's the most important thing. It's her that provides for us in all aspects of our life. And I think we're starting to get that to some conscious level, but not all of us. And I had a reading with a lady that was on around sustainability food and corporations and food sovereignty. And after the reading, I had a conversation with her, and I said to her, what's the one thing that's destroying food sovereignty? And she said, food and corporations. We have to get back to being community focused.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have to. I guess that's hard when you're in a very big city but it's easy to do here. We have a local community market, and that's really neat. I love that. It is the land. I mean, the land will still continue, Mother Nature, Papatūānuku, she'll still continue to grow things, even if we're not here. She's still going to flourish, or it could be the opposite, If people treat her badly, things will die. Yeah, it is about honouring the land and treating her like a goddess.
And the other interesting thing is, I believe, as we are reclaiming our dormant DNA and moving into 5D energy, the land is going back to its natural healing and medicines of the plants that are on it. So the plants that we have worked with in past tense, herbalists, Maori healers, naturopaths, all of that realm, the plants are getting more potent. As we upgrade our frequency and Mother Earth continually upgrades her frequency, I believe plants are going back to the more potent energy of what they were when our forefathers, ancestors, way back there. And I think that the healing abilities are going to get next level. The more that we learn to honor the land.
Absolutely. And there are so many beautiful plants on this land, and rongoa is a big thing. The native plants around here flourish, absolutely flourish. Even the weeds flourish, but weeds are just discarded plants. They all have benefits to them. If we were all taught things like this at school, that actually you could just go and pick some plantain and chew it if you've got a toothache, or boil that up for an infection. She does offer so many things in our backyard. And I guess knowledge is power, but we're just not taught these things days, but we so should be. Or maybe it's up to us to learn. And I've always sort of had an holistic approach to well-being and health. Absolutely. That was the way I was raised. So for me, it's quite normal. And then to be here and have all of these beautiful plants in abundance. Again, never taking more than I need and always asking. So I think that's very important and something I've drummed into my children as well. You must ask Papa Tuanuku if you can take things, or Tongaroa, things from the sea. You must ask, because it is not ours just to take and use. You'll always have enough there for us. But we must ask, whether that's just, in yourself or you ask out loud. We'll talk to the plants. I do. I talk to the plants and the land all the time. It's quite normal for me. I'd rather talk to them. Oh gosh.
What do you feel is your soul's mission and your soul's purpose moving to your spiritual home? Has it changed?
I don't think it's changed. I think my soul purpose has always been to use my voice, actually, Lily, to use my voice and be someone that always shares things openly, honestly, and authentically. And I think I obviously had to learn that the hard way, because being paralyzed for quite a long time, you can't really do or use anything else at all but your voice. So that experience of breaking my neck taught me that my voice is really powerful and it needs to be heard. So being down here, I don't think it's changed. I think, but being down here, I can somewhat advocate for this life on the land. That probably doesn't make a lot of sense. I think being down here has given me the experience and opportunity to share with people, friends, loved ones, people I don't know, and my posts to the beautiful ladies in Divine Awakening, that actually it is possible to live like this, even though it seems so far-fetched and so sometimes just, we had to throw caution to the wind and trust in the universe that everything would work out, because we did move here in a time of chaos and it was a massive move. But it is possible to be in a place like this and live a simple yet fulfilled life. And I think my sole purpose is to show people that you don't need all these things, like all these expensive things. I mean, cell phone reception doesn't even work here half the time, which is amazing. You've got to be like standing in the lift with your leg up on the roof, basically, for it to work. Yeah, I think it's my voice, Lily. My sole purpose is to be a voice and advocate for people in many things, whether it's moving to a place where you feel like you've found your people, which I totally have found here. I've found my people. I found them. They found me before I'd even moved here in some respects. If you want something, perceive, achieve, believe, I guess. And sometimes we have to go through some dark times to find the light, as most of us know. And yeah, I see all problems as disguised opportunities, I guess.
That is rich. That is potent when you say that.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I see all problems as disguised opportunities.
I love that. I absolutely, that in itself is powerful. What you
It's
just
powerful, isn't it?
Before we jumped on and we started to record, where I pulled a card. And it's from the Earth Warriors Oracle by Alana Fairchild, and it's Medicine Horse, Progress on the Path, which I think so you. And these
so beautiful.
And this whole deck is about the ancestors, the people that walked the land before us. So for me, it was quite potent when you are so connected to the land. And I'm going to read you the first wee bit. Because I think the land has called you for a higher purpose. You've been called home for a higher purpose around healing yourself, healing your family, and bringing forward your next generation into a deeper understanding.
Yes.
Your children's children. But I think you need
beautiful.
to come home
Mm,
in order to heal.
I do feel that.
Find that
I do
space.
feel that deeply. Yeah.
I'm going to read you 2 pieces of it. So I'll read you the first bit. I am a medicine horse, bringing you the message of freedom, joy, and progress. Do not act as though you are the beast of the burden. Claim your innate divine integrity. Allow yourself to feel and be graceful. Recognize and honor your needs for rest, openness, safety, and respects. An ability to hear, know, and feel spiritual truth, which will guide you in every aspect of your life journey, is opening up and connecting you with spirit. Live your truth. And the healing part of it is spirit of the horse, beautiful, wild, and free. You liberate me. You show me the truth of my experiences, and that I respond as was a natural for me. And then, now my nature is ready to be alive in a new way. I am ready to celebrate my spiritual beauty, the freedom to be myself, and to enjoy the sacred connections that are mutually supportive and encouraging. I honor you, the medicine horse, for the beautiful gift that you bring to relieve my soul. You help me walk in a way of spirit with honesty, power, and grace. May all the horses and all the creators be happy and free. And I just think that's so you at the moment.
That's so beautiful. I feel that, and I love that. Just need a couple of horses on the land.
Maybe the horse know what they're telling you. Maybe you might need to get a horse. Add a horse.
Yes, well, my dear Nana, bless her, 93 years old. She's got 6 horses now, only 6, down from about 106. So maybe one of her horses needs to find its forever home here. 92. Who knows?
Who knows? You keep us posted on that, won't you?
Yes, I will. I will, Lily.
Sister, just before we end this podcast, is there any other sacred wisdom that you would like to share with the listeners that are listening to this and are in the contemplation of city life, country life, not really sure what the hell I'm doing. I'm being pulled over here. I want life to be a bit simpler, get out of the chaos. You know, that fun.
I would love to share with you this little affirmation, which was sent to me by a dear friend of mine who I call my Okato angel. And she sent this to me last night. And when I read it, I thought, I've got to write this down because it feels just so beautiful. And I just love how you get sent things, or you're meant to see things in the moment. So I wrote it down, and actually I think this would be really great to finish with. So I love that.
I found this outside and picked it up today. It's a feather for those that are listening, so they can't see it. It's a feather. So it's so funny that you said what did you call her? Something angel?
Yeah, Okato, which is where I live, my Okato angel.
Right, okay. Okay. And so this message might be for me too. I'm just going to say that.
Okay. I'll probably go outside and find a feather now too, or it'll find me. Okay, it goes like this. Not everything you lose is a loss. Some things are a freedom. Some things are a miracle in disguise. Some things are a detachment long needed, a clarity brought to blurry eyes. Some things are an intervention. Some things are the unexpected answer to a long chanted prayer. Some things are a healing. Some things are a becoming. Some things are planned long before you ever come to be. Some things are a devastation, but others are a kind of vital guidance, the kind of course correction you did not even know you needed, the kind you did not even realize you were asking for all along. And that, I think, sums up pretty much how my whānau and I landed here at 292 in all its glory.
Oh, that poem is potent.
Isn't it cool? I don't actually know who it's by. she just sent it to me in a little screenshot. So I can't even honor the author or who wrote it. But isn't it great? It's going to go on my wall.
Yeah, I'll be putting that on your wall. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you for being so open to share your sacred journey, your wisdom, the land that you reside on. Thank you for honoring it. And just being able to be so open-hearted and offer to others what they may need to not know that they're missing.
You're so welcome, Lily. It's been so lovely to share this and share in the divine awakening with you too. You called me to that sacred space with your book, which I never knew I needed to have in that moment in time. So I love that. I love how everything's just connected and meant to be. So thanks for having me on and everything.
No worries at all, Hannah. Thank you, gorgeous girl.